The Queen and Prince Philip have visited the Giant's Causeway and Bushmills on the second day of their royal trip.
Well, we can now join our correspondent Mark McFadden, who's live on the north coast this evening. Mark.
Well, I'm here at a rather blustery Giant's Causeway on what has been a memorable day for Northern Ireland tourism, the second and final day of the royal visit, and a chance for Northern Ireland to join in the celebrations of the Queen's 90th birthday. The royal couple had a tour of the new Causeway Visitor Centre when they arrived this morning, and then moved on down to those world-famous stones to get a close-up look at the causeway itself. And for a location which is steeped in ancient Irish myth and legend, Her Majesty chose a rather vivid and appropriate green outfit. And for the many visitors who were here, her arrival was something of a pleasant and unexpected surprise. They had come to see the causeway, and they ended up climbing onto the causeway to see the Queen. And when the royal couple moved on from here to Bushmills, there was something of a change of pace, because this royal visit takes place as we move towards the centenary of the Battle of the Somme. And a key moment today saw Her Majesty standing in solemn remembrance and paying a royal tribute to an extraordinary local hero. Gareth Wilkinson has the story.
Soldiers from the Irish Guard stood to attention, locals cheered, the royal cavalcade arrived. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh's tour of Northern Ireland is one of celebration, but in Bushmills they paused for commemoration. The Queen unveiled a statue to a local man awarded a Victoria Cross for bravery during the Battle of the Somme. Sergeant Robert Quigg of the Royal Irish Rifles crawled into no man's land 7 times to save his commanding officer. He couldn't find Sir Henry McNaughton, also from Bushmills, but each time he returned with a wounded soldier. The last man saved was Rifleman Robert Matthews. His son was here today and met the Queen. What does today mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. I hadn't been Sergeant Quigg, I wouldn't be standing here.
And what would your father think of all this?
Oh, he was delighted with this. Delighted this happened.
The life-size bronze statue of Robert Quigg was erected following a local fundraising campaign. The Queen had met him before, during her coronation tour in Coleraine in 1953. Something she recalled as she took time to speak to his surviving relatives.
And she was able to tell me that she had met Sergeant Quigg, the VC, before. So she'd done a little bit of research. And she was interested in the Quigg story as well, and she spoke to 3 or 4 of the people associated with the story. I think for the family and the whole community, it's like putting the royal seal of approval on the town.
He's a great big chap, you know. Big boots, you know.
And do you feel that this is a fitting honour for Robert Quigg?
Yes. Of course it is, yes. It is. And for the regiment as well.
This was the first time the Queen ever visited Bushmills. Hundreds turned out to see a little bit of history.
Definitely a day we'll never forget. And we're so proud of our wee town that she come to it. Great day for Bushmills.
I thought it was very good.
Did you? And what did you think of her?
I thought she was nice, because she usually wears blue, but she was wearing green.
So we've been here since about 7:30.
And was the wait worth it?
Of course it was.
Yes, we did all over again.
We've been here since 6 o'clock this morning and it's fantastic. I saw her.
You got a glimpse of her?
Going past in the car, it was amazing.
Well, this was a huge event for this small town. This visit may have been short, but it will live long in the memory. The Queen and Prince Philip left, ensuring a local hero will never be forgotten. Neither will their visit. Gareth Wilkinson, UTV Live, Bushmills.
Well, after the break, Paul Clark will have a special report on the life and the heroism of Robert Quigg. But back to the royal couple, and this has been a day of extraordinary events here on the North Coast. Her Majesty has been on the throne for more than 60 years. She has been Queen through the atomic era, the space age, and on into the modern digital revolution. But the Queen and Prince Philip rounded off their visit to Northern Ireland by taking a trip back in time, catching a steam train along the North Coast. And our reporter, Judith Hill, was on board that Royal Express.
This must have felt like a step back in time for the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh as they set off from Coleraine on this, the number 85 Merlin steam engine. In July 1953, they were here as part of the Queen's coronation tour. And for some here, those memories have lived long.
We all were given flags which were on bamboo sticks, and we all, so that we'd be seen waving them. And all I remember is the train stopping briefly, and as everyone has remembered, this great roar of excitement to see the new Queen.
Oh, there's some excitement with Bellarena, and it was, everybody was out to see her.
And so, how does it feel to be back here today with the Queen on this train?
This is far more exciting today now.
In the carriages and on the platform, there was real excitement, especially for this lady, born on the same day as the Queen.
I think she's marvellous, just marvellous. And everything that she does, she's so gentle.
And this was the man charged with the royal responsibility of driving the train.
I've been working for the Royal for 38 years, and this is the highlight of my career. I've been driving for a long time, and just fantastic.
The full majesty of the North Coast was on full view for Her Majesty, and she was waved and cheered on at each point of this journey. Well, travel experts hail this rail journey as one of the most beautiful in the world, and it's not only being seen by the eyes of the Queen, it's also being shared by local school children who are excited to be part of this royal experience.
It's been a wonderful day so far, and it's an amazing experience, and I'm very delighted that I got chosen.
I've never really been to steam train before, and it was really good, and plus the Queen's here, so it was even better.
In Bellarena, the Queen unveiled a plaque to officially open the new station here on this recently revamped rail line, and once again the crowds were out in force.
Well, she came along and I handed out the flowers and she just said thank you, but it's just an experience to remember.
She asked us what school we were from, and we're from Central, and she said thank you very much for her flowers.
And what was that like to actually get to speak to her?
Amazing.
Well, the Queen certainly finished her two-day tour here in style, going home with new memories of a journey she originally made as a new monarch all those years ago. Judith Hill, UTV Live, Bellarena.
Well, to reflect on today's events, I'm joined by Terence Brannigan, the chairman of Tourism NI. The images that we've seen today, without wishing to be flippant, it's the kind of publicity money simply can't buy.
You're absolutely right, Mark. You couldn't buy that. It's fantastic PR for the whole of Northern Ireland, for our history, for our culture, for our heritage.
And it will really make a difference to selling Northern Ireland as a tourism product.
A massive difference, because Her Majesty, in coming here, this is the first time she's ever been in 25 visits. Wonderful to have her here. And people...
First time at the Causeway.
First time ever at the Causeway. So on her 90th birthday, she has met the 60-million-year-old stones at the North Causeway here. So wonderful day for everyone and great for Northern Ireland tourism.
She's doing her bit for tourism, but so have the Northern Ireland football fans. They have really helped sell your message around the world, haven't they?
The last few weeks, the Green and Wine Army have been the best ambassadors we could probably have ever for tourism. It's been a fantastic couple of weeks, and now today, capping it with Her Majesty and Prince Philip coming here.
And I'm sure with all the uncertainty and turmoil of Brexit in recent days, it's nice for you to get the chance to focus on the positive.
I think it's great for everyone here to focus on the positive now, to have another great royal visit, and to celebrate what we have here in natural heritage and history and culture. Fantastic for all of us.
And for you to get the chance to showcase the glories of the North Coast in that way, as a single day's journey for the Queen, that's really quite an extraordinary thing to put together.
Well, many people do wish to follow in the footsteps of Her Majesty, so where she goes they like to follow. So for us, that showcase of this great place, and the train journey today that you referred to, I think earlier, was monumental. That Her Majesty took that train journey in 1953 at the time of her coronation, and there we had Merlin 85, a steam train. What a wonderful journey, what beautiful views from it, and people coming out in droves to see Her Majesty on the train today.
Well, indeed, wonderful images, as you say. It has indeed been a day of celebration for tourism in Northern Ireland, but also a day of reflection and remembrance. And from the Causeway, back to the studio.
trip on one of the world's greatest railway journeys, the Queen, on the second day of her visit. It was a case of déjà vu for the Queen today. She retraced a picturesque rail journey, which she took a month after her coronation. The Queen and Duke of Edinburgh also went to the Giant's Causeway during the visit that marks her 90th birthday. Here is our North East reporter Sarah Gervin.
Yesterday it was Hillsborough Castle, and today the Queen, who's marking her 90th birthday, toured the north coast of Northern Ireland. First stop was the Giant's Causeway. The weather wasn't kind, but the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh still enjoyed the view at one of Northern Ireland's most iconic landmarks. The royal visitors even surprised some unsuspecting tourists.
We thought we weren't even going to be able to come down here. At first we thought we weren't going to get to see the Giant's Causeway, and not only did we see it, but we had a bonus.
My kids are going to love this. Yeah, back in Australia.
This was part of the tour, and we had no idea that she was going to be here until this morning. So.
Next stop was Bushmills, where the Queen unveiled a statue of World War I hero Robert Quigg. Her grandfather, George V, had presented him with a Victoria Cross for bravery during the Battle of the Somme. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh met Sergeant Quigg themselves in 1953. His family said having her at the ceremony was a great honour.
It was almost like things coming full circle to have that connection. It was wonderful, I think, that the two of them came back here today, almost over 60 years later, to put the royal seal of approval on the statue.
Those who'd come to see the royals said it was a momentous day for Bushmills.
I don't believe the Queen's ever been to Bushmills. I know she's been to the North Coast area, Coleraine, but I don't believe she's been to Bushmills, and probably in our lifetime she'll not be back again, unfortunately.
I'm actually from Newtownards. We drove all the way down today just to see her. So it was great. Was it worth it? Yes, worth it. Fantastic. Great day.
Robert Quigg reflects upon a lot of us through his actions, and tried to be as brave as what Robert Quigg was that day 100 years ago.
From here in Bushmills, where people are already laying tributes at the statue of Robert Quigg, it was on to Coleraine, where the Queen retraced a journey she first made during her coronation year.
Enthusiastic well-wishers gathered in Coleraine to catch a glimpse of the royal couple. It was for them a moment to savour.
Oh yes, very nice lady.
I think it's wonderful, great for the families and great for the town and great for the tourist area of Coleraine. It's great for these guys to come and see her.
And for one 90-year-old who shares the same birthday as the monarch, 21st of April 1926, it was a special day.
Yes, the very same day. I think she's marvellous at what she does. I can't see, I followed her from she was a child, like at the same age, you know, in her dress and one thing and another, you know. And she was always a gentle sort of a person, she always was.
The royal couple arrived to take a trip back in time aboard a steam train. The 5-carriage train, which was built in Manchester in 1932, was provided by the Railway Preservation Society of Ireland for the special VIP journey. Of course, it's not the first time the Queen travelled on this rail line. She was here in her coronation year in 1953, whilst on a journey between Lisburn and Derry. The railway station in Bellarena was first opened in 1853 and serves a rural population. The new station was officially opened by the Queen, who unveiled a plaque. Although it was only a short 25-minute train journey from Coleraine, it proved a memorable occasion for the children, who got to travel in style with the royal couple.
It's quite a good experience, I think, and it's quite a privilege to be here.
I think it's quite surreal, I suppose. Not many people get the opportunity to. So, good time to appreciate it.
So, a day that will live long in the memory. Kieran Turish, BBC Newsline, Bellarena.